I'll tell you what, I'm not going to waste any time, ladies and gentlemen. I am privileged and proud to be able to open up for one of the best, most iconic performers in the furry fandom ever to date. Uncle Kage, ladies and gentlemen, please come up here. It's your turn. Let's go. Is it not your time? What time do you go on?
Somebody get the next one!
What's the Davidson?
Hey, Nick. Nick.
One more time!
In the ocean.
Actually, sounds like when you're sharing a room with you around 1 a.m.
Oh boy, we're drunk. Shit. I didn't want to be this drunk.
I'm not. Let's put it this way: you don't get dick till this is taken care of, okay? What are those? Don't point that at me, you don't know where it's been. It is shooting at me, but it is not buying me a drink.
You have a problem. I can't find any of your kind's dad.
They're not getting the hint. I know I'm past time, but they're not getting the hint. I was sitting in the bar, and a very, very, very nice young man sitting right here in the front row bought me a drink to get me started. And it was the damnedest thing, because we're sitting in the bar, and it's, we're sitting in the bar, and I am drinking, and he's drinking, it's great. The TVs are on, the Little League game's going up there, and I look at the Little League game, and I'm drinking with him, I look at the Little League game, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is Gamboa doing on TV? And that's Huskoon. Apparently they're at the Little League game right now. It's like, dude, that's cool. So, okay, it's like, wow. There you go. Oh, it's Tumor Cat. No, Tumor Cat. See, look. See, it's Tumor Cat because he's got this real big tumor growing out of his head. See that there? Yes. Pause for station identification. Many parties, 90% of them have no idea what that was all about. No showing that. Hi, I'm Uncle Kage. I get drunk and throw up on my shoes. I'm going to do that for your entertainment pleasure tonight. How many of you follow my Twitter, twat? You should. So those of you who follow my Twitter, twat, know that I had a little difficulty getting here. A little difficulty that comes in the form of United Airlines. Now, I do not mean to speak ill of United Airlines when I say they suck the big donkey wanky, but they do. And this is the sad part. United Airlines canceled my flight here to Indianapolis, and it didn't surprise me at all. I was expecting it. I would have been disappointed had they not canceled it. And something happened that never actually happened before, and maybe this is symptomatic. See, I like to fly up in the front of the plane, you know, in this section. When the plane landed, it came up the little gate thing there, and they're waiting for the driver to bring the bridge thing over, and they opened the cockpit door to let all the marijuana smoke out and stuff there. So I'm sitting there, and I noticed that there was a lot of activity. The pilot was doing something. I could only see just like the shoulder, and he's doing all this stuff. And I heard an electronic voice say, "Autopilot, autopilot." What? And then the stick shaker started up. That's the emergency warning that tells the pilot, "Oh my God, you're too close to the ground, pull up." I thought, does the airplane know that we're on the ground? Can it not feel the ground beneath its little rubber feet there? Apparently on United it cannot. Contrast this to the last airplane flight in which I thought I would try out an airline that goes by the name of Delta. When I went to Megaplex, I flew to Delta, because if you want to go anywhere south of like Chattanooga, Delta's your only choice. I flew Delta down to Megaplex in Orlando. And, well, kind of weirded me out a little bit. Maybe I've been with United too long. Because in flying down to Orlando, I bought a first class ticket. You know why? Because a first class ticket on Delta costs less than a coach class ticket on United to Orlando. But remember, I'm not here to tell you that United, sucks the big donkey wanky. That's for some other time. So I got to the airport and it was mobbed. This is a Friday morning, Raleigh-Durham Airport, and there was wall-to-wall people. There were like 450,000 people just in the Starbucks line. And I'm looking at, it's like, I gotta like push my way through the crowds to try to find where the check-in your luggage desk is. And I push through, and the people are like clambering, trying to get their luggage checked in. And I looked, and there's a little gap in the crowd, and this little sign said, first class. And this nice little old lady sitting there like this. All by herself. So I walked up and she perked up. Oh my goodness, I get a customer. Oh good. So I checked in my bag and she gave me my boarding pass. And then I looked at the security. There were 11,493 billion, million, trillion, quadrillion people trying to get in the security line. I got TSA pre-check. In order to get TSA pre-check, you have to pay $100 and fill out a form that consists of one checkbox. Are you Arab? Yes, no. No, okay, you get TSA pre-check. It's actually not so far from that, really. I'm not putting you on. So I looked for the TSA pre-check, and there's a hole in the crowd. So I went down there, I went down this little lane, and here's the TSA pre-check guy sitting there like this. I thought, this is unusual. So I walked up there, he looked at it, he pulled out and looked at my ID and checked the not Arab box, correct, and I went in, put my stuff on the counter, walked through, took my stuff, went down to the gate, and I sat at the gate to await my flight. This is an unfamiliar gate, this is a Delta gate, I'm not used to this gate. And the lady said, oh, we're now announcing, we're going to board the flight to Orlando. We're inviting any persons with disabilities. Nobody got up. She said, well, now we're inviting active duty military in uniform. Then they said, now we're inviting parents with children under the age of 2. I thought, oh, here it comes, here it comes. Nobody moved. Then they said, now we're inviting the first class cabin. Okay. Nobody else did anything. I thought, maybe I got the wrong gate. And I kind of looked at the ladies and waved the ticket. They said, yeah, come on. I said, Orlando? They said, yeah. So I got on the plane and I sat down. I was the only first class passenger. 12 seats. I had the entire cabin to myself. And a first class flight attendant who was basically my bitch for the entire flight. So, oh, my glass is empty. Here it is. And I just had, because I had 12 seats, I sat in a different seat every 15 minutes just to see what it was like. And I randomly distributed, just to screw with the flight attendant. Could you refill my glass, please? Oh, yes, sir. Oh, I don't have a napkin. Could I have a napkin, please? It was kind of surreal because I could feel the blazing glare of the people in the back, on the back of my head. And if I don't turn around, it won't burn my eyes. We landed in Orlando, and I helped clean up. I went and got the napkin from here, the empty glass from over there, the used condom from over here. I just took care of it. It wasn't mine, it was there to begin with, okay? Didn't I tell you about that part? Did I leave that part? I left that part ahead. That's another story. Anyway, so they got off the plane, and I walked down to the baggage claim. Now, I have a very, very easy to spot bright yellow storm case. That's for transporting wine bottles. And as soon as I walked up to the carousel, that yellow case came out. I thought, this is starting to get kind of creepy. It's like the Stepford Wives go to Disney World. So I took the yellow case and I called the hotel. And they said, oh, the shuttle driver's on his way. Go meet him at gate E5. Where do I go? Hotel shuttles E. Okay, so I dragged my little yellow case out. And I stepped out the doors. Doors open. I stepped through the doors, and when I took my second step, the shuttle pulled up. I was getting really unnerved. I was kind of scared. The shuttle driver came out and said, "Can I take your box?" And I said, "No." He said, "Why not?" And I said, "Because I don't think you're real." And I let him have the box, and I went and I sat down in the shuttle like this. And the shuttle driver got in, and he said, "How was your flight?" And I said, "Creepy." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I had told him the story." I said, "There's something wrong here. It's been too perfect. Everything has been utterly perfect. That's a problem." He said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because at any moment it's all going to go to hell. I just know it. Halfway to the hotel, a meteor is going to crash into the interstate, and there'll be a terrible, a tanker truck will explode into a ball of fire, or I'll get to the hotel, it'll be full of a bunch of freaks in animal costumes, or maybe..." And the driver said, But then he caught on, smart fellow. He said, "You're with them, aren't you?" I said, he said, "But what? I don't understand. You had a good trip. Why are you upset?" I said, "Because I am a frequent flyer on United." He said, "Oh. This must be very strange to you. You've never experienced anything like this." I said, "Yeah." Because United has been extremely creative. Extremely creative. I normally like creativity. That's why I like furries so much. You are an amazingly creative and imaginative people. I think United is run by furries. They must be. Because it's like, let us think of the absolutely strangest way we can screw up this guy's day. Because when he tells the story, nobody will believe it. What's the worst he'll do? Oh, he'll tweet about us. By the way, any of you who saw my tweets about United, was it too passive-aggressive? No? Good. I flew United a number of years ago, and I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to teach you something about airlines, or maybe just United, I don't know. If they say, "We're looking for volunteers," oh, we're overbooked, looking for volunteers. If they say, "We will give you a free round-trip ticket," don't take it. It's a scam. Because I did, it was to Orlando. And they had a family of 4, 2 little girls, mom and dad. They had 3 seats. Dad didn't have a seat. I thought, okay, this family's going to Orlando on a vacation and Dad doesn't get to go. Okay, I can't have that. All right, I'll volunteer my seat. Oh, I get a free round trip. How nice, thank you very much. I plan my trips a year in advance. I know which conventions want me to go, and I know what trips I want to take. So I happily called up United. I said, "Hi United, I got my free voucher. I would like to go, oh, January's coming up. I would like to go to San Jose." They just said, "Nope." I said, "No, yes, I want to go. I do want to go, that's true." She said, "Well, you can't use your voucher." I said, "Why not?" She said, "Those dates are blacked out." Okay. Well, okay, how about end of February? I want to go here in February. Nope, no seats available for vouchers on that flight. April? No. May? No. End of July, Orlando again? No. Can you use it go to Germany? Oh, can't use it international, no, sorry. I went all the way through the year that the voucher was good for. Everywhere I wanted to go, they wouldn't let me use it. So I said to the lady, "This is ridiculous. How can you tell me I can't use my voucher?" She said, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, that's the rules." I said, "Okay. where can I use it? She said, well, sir, you had to pick another flight. I said, no. I picked all my flights. You tell me, where can I use my voucher? Anyway, you look it up. Where can I use the voucher? And there was a pause, and she said, well, you could use it to go to Greenville, South Carolina on August 23rd. I said, do it! Give me a flight! Just down and back again! Because I'm gonna make you do it. I can have my free flight, damn it! I'm gonna go down there and all I'm gonna do is bitch about you. On stage. A couple of months ago, it's back in the wintertime, I was in Seattle, and I was gonna fly home on a Monday, had to be back at work Tuesday morning. And it was a 7 a.m. flight from Seattle. And I got to, oh hello. I got to the airport, and when I went up to the counter, I'm an experienced traveler.
Wonderful show. Keep going.
I'm an experienced traveler. I could tell something was up. It was by the frantic and frenetic way people were clustered around the little podium. So I walked up, and it said, flight is overbooked. Volunteers needed. I thought, oh, okay. I waited to see what came up next. It said, offering $600 voucher. Ooh. Money, dollar voucher, you can use that anywhere. I'm interested. Because $600, that's like an entire flight in a good class. Okay. So it's like, I have budget. My budget for the year is already seen to. Sounds like he's taking a leak back here. What's going on? I'm not looking. That's $600. That's great. I can spend that someplace else. So when I said, yeah, that's for me. I'm going to volunteer. Give me this. I said, give me the $600. And then he said, okay, we'll offer you $600 and we'll put you on a Delta flight that leaves at noon, and that'll get you back to Raleigh at 10. I said, perfect, gimme. And she said, well, we don't know if we're going to need your seat yet, so just stand back, and if we need your seat, we'll let you know. I'm all excited. I don't want my seat now. So I stepped back, and excuse me. So I stood back, and a tiny little old lady, she struck me as being a Pacific Islander, perhaps, I don't know, a little Asian-looking lady, came up and she had her passport out, and she was toddling up to the counter, and oh, how sweet little lady, and she started to reach for the passport. This big guy, remember Pluto from the Popeye cartoons? That's who he was without the mustache. I got his name. I'm going to use the name McAllen to describe him. How's that? I'm going to call him Mr. McAllen. He came up, literally pushed past this lady and started saying, what's going on here? Why do my ticket says that I don't have a seating assignment. It says here, confirmed, I'm confirmed on this flight, but I don't have a seat. Why don't I have a seating assignment? I am, and this, and you people need to, well, I am the son of a Southern gentleman. Where I come from, you don't push in front of a lady. Plus, since it was already past 7 a.m., I'd already started. So I kind of gently put my hand on the lady's shoulder and I step in front of her. I say, "Excuse me, sir, do you realize you just stepped in front of a lady?" And he said, "That's okay. You people really need to be on the ball because you cannot do this to me. I am a paying customer." And I thought, "Oh, that's okay, is it? How deeply do I want to get into this? I got a lot of time." So I'm standing back, and this guy went off in a huff. So I made sure nobody else got in front of, took the little lady up. And when she was done, I said to the ticket lady, I said, "Listen, that big palooka that was here, I want to make sure he doesn't get my seat." And she said, "I don't know if I can arrange that, sir." I said, "You have to. He's an asshole. You cannot give him, I'm not giving you my seat up if he gets it." She said, "Really, sir, that I don't have any control of that. Could you please step back? I'm very busy." Oh, now I felt bad. She's frazzled. I'm not going to give her any trouble. So I stepped back. And they're trying to take care of the next person. And then Mr. McAllen shows up again. "How come I don't have my seat yet? I've been standing here waiting. I am supposed to be in by this, and you need to, and I want your name. I want the name of your supervisor." And I'm standing behind him saying, and glanced back at the little lady with her knitting was looking at me. And I said, and she said, so more passengers came up, and they started to call up passengers who were going to get seats. They started to board. I was getting nervous. Do I get my $600 or not? And then the lady came on. It was like she was announcing the Oscar winner. Passenger Dr. Conway, please approach the podium. And it was like, and the winner for the best picture, she slid this ticket for me, $600 on lace, the golden ticket to Wonka Land. $600. I'm like, "Thank you very much." And I stuck it in my pocket. And the next thing she said was, "Passenger McAllen?" And I stopped. And this guy comes blustering up, and I saw her hand him a boarding pass, and I saw my seat number on it. He got my seat. And I thought, I could let this go, but I wouldn't get a story out of it if I did. So I just stood back and waited. Timing is everything in this business. Timing is everything. He huffily went in and he, beeped his ticket and he started down the jetway. As soon as he started down the jetway, I said, "Have a nice flight, Mr. McAllen, you self-important douchebag." And he kind of stopped and started to turn, and the flight attendant said, "No, sir, you must board now. You have to board. You have to board. Get on the plane. Get on the plane. Get on the plane, sir. Thank you very much." So I thought, okay, my work here is done. They gave me all the information I needed for Delta. I've got hours now. So I'm going to go to the United Airlines Club. You see, I'm a frequent flyer. I'm not just a frequent flyer. I am like a, holy shit, there's that guy again flyer. You've heard of the silver preferred member. You've heard of the gold preferred member. You've heard of the platinum preferred member. I am an amazing super colossal gold premium platinum silver suck my dick level chairman member. That's abbreviated SMD. I have the SMD card with United. So I'm just going to go hang out in the club. So I started to walk away, and I passed a young man in his 20s who kind of had his head down, and he was looking very sad. So I stopped and I said, "Oh, are you going to be on this flight, young man?" He said, yes, I was. I said, oh, that's a terrible shame. He said, yeah, I'm on orders. I need to be back at Fort Bragg by 9 a.m. or I'm in trouble. I said, whoa, wait a minute. You're a soldier? He said, yeah. I said, you're traveling on orders? He said, yeah. And I said, and your leave is up at 9 a.m. tomorrow? He said, yeah, and I've been at this airport for 2 days. Okay, where I come from, support our troops is a little bit more than a Chinese-made bumper sticker, okay? So, so I said, we got to come with me. I looked at the podium. Anybody who's over 40 remembers the news footage of the last helicopter leaving Saigon. That's what it looked like. You know, people like climbing over, waving their tickets. No, American citizen, you have to take me. There's no way this guy's gonna get through. And I said, come with me. I ran with him. We ran up to the United Club. And I threw open the doors of the nightclub and I slapped my SMD card down. I said, take care of this boy. He's got to get back to Raleigh tomorrow. So they start tappity. Maybe we can send him through Denver. No, that's not good. Can we send him through San Jose? No. Can we send him through Toronto? No, that's not good. We can send him through Tokyo. No, that's not working. Moscow. And she's trying everything. Everything was booked solid. And he was looking more and more forlorn, thinking, I am in deep doo-doo now. And I felt bad. And I was pacing back and forth saying, is there something? I said, look, could I give him my seat? And she said, that's dangerous, sir. In order to do that, we would have to cancel your reservation and then quickly make one for him and hope nobody grabs it. I said, nah, it ain't gonna work. No, let's not do that. And one of the ladies back there, a nice, old, quiet, sagacious old lady, said, you might be able to get a last-minute ticket with Southwest Airlines. They sometimes have like last-minute fares available. I said, oh great, can you look that up? She said, no. I said, well, why not? She said, our system and theirs, we can't do anything with Southwest flights. I said, we can do it with every other airline, why not? She said, Southwest. I said, oh. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go inside, open up my lappy computer, and I'm going to find something that Southwest has it. You keep trying. Send him through Bangkok if you gotta, but he needs to be in Raleigh tomorrow. So I went inside and I go to the Southwest website. Lo and behold, they do have a last-minute ticket. Heading through Denver, connecting up, heading to Raleigh, getting there 10 o'clock at night. But $581. I thought, oh, I'm sorry, $571. Gotta get my numbers right. $571. So I thought, I hope this boy's got a really, really good gold card. So I ran outside, I showed him the computer, and I said, do you have this kind of money? And I saw his crest fall. He said, maybe I can call a friend, maybe I can borrow some money, I'll be right back. And he stepped outside, and I was pacing back and forth again. And after 2 or 3 minutes, I looked outside and I saw him sort of do that. And I stepped out, and I said, any luck? And he said, no, I can't reach anybody. He said, I don't have that kind of money. I'm still $29 up on the deal. So I ran inside, I bought him the ticket on Southwest. And he was a little stunned. And he said, but is it, but me no buts. Go inside, have some coffee, we'll talk. So we went inside, and he was a little shell-shocked, but he's a soldier, he's used to this. So we talked, we got to know each other. And I realized, oh, I gotta get my ticket for Delta. I gotta get my ticket for Delta because I want to go home too. You wait here, you hang out, have some fun. If you want to put some Baileys in the coffee, they won't charge you, just go ahead. So I headed down to the Delta Canyon. Now, has anybody ever been to SeaTac Airport, Seattle-Tacoma? It's called Seattle-Tacoma because the United gates are in Seattle, the Delta gates are in Tacoma. You've got to traverse this long, arduous path in order to get there. If you're lucky, you can catch some eagles to fly you over the forest. But after staying for the night and picking up some native bearers in Bellevue, I managed to get to the Delta counter. And I got to the Delta counter and I handed the lady all my paperwork and she said, tappity, tappity, oh look, you're in a first class seat the entire way. And I said, karma works. I like this. So I started back, I dismissed the Sherpas, and I'm heading back, and halfway there I looked at it, and it said, boarding time, 10:30 p.m. Whoa, wait a minute, this is no noon flight. So I ran back to the Delta counter, and she said, yeah, the earlier flight was canceled, so we put you on a red eye that's going to take you to Atlanta, and then we'll get you to Raleigh. I said, but I don't want a red eye. She said, that's all that's available. There's apparently a heavy weather system running through North Carolina. I said, oh really, what, is there an inch of snow? And she went tappity tappity, yeah. And I said, oh wait a minute, my friend, uh-oh, I better go check on him. Because if Delta is, oh crap. So I ran back as fast as I could to the United Club. I got to the United Club, and he had his cell phone out. He looked at me mournfully and said, they canceled my flight. Southwest canceled my flight. I said, give me that. I said, okay, listen. This guy gets to North Carolina tomorrow. I don't care what you got to do. Anything going to Raleigh? And the lady said, sir, there's nothing going to Raleigh. I said, okay, how about Charlotte? Nothing to Charlotte. Greensboro, nothing to Greensboro. Chattanooga, nothing to Chattanooga. Atlanta, that's not going anyway. All right, Washington, D.C. She said, yes, we have a flight to Washington. Ah! Put him on the D.C. flight. Put him on the Washington, D.C. flight. I will get a car for him to drive down to Fort Bragg. Just put him on to D.C. And she said, well, there's a difference in fare. I said, no, there isn't. You canceled his flight. You are responsible for rebooking him at the same fare. And she said, oh, sir, Southwest. I said, all right. I said, all right, what's the new fare? She said, $592. I'm still $8 up on the deal. Get him the ticket, all right? So I got on the ticket and I said, okay, give me a second here, give me a second. And I got on to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I got a corporate account with Enterprise. I've got something of an SMD card with Enterprise. So I'm going tappity, 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 tappity. Shh, give me a second here, tappity, tappity, tappity. Okay, fill, click, this, that, this, okay. Do you have $168 on your credit card? He said, I think so. I said, don't think so. Do you know so? He said, I'm pretty sure I do. I said, good. Okay, you're going to land in Washington, D.C. You're going to go to Enterprise. Here's the confirmation number. They're going to give you the car. If anybody asks any questions, your name is Conway, you're the chairman of Anthrocon, and you're a furry. Don't ask, just do it. But this flight is leaving in about 35 minutes. We got to get you down to your gate. So we gathered up his stuff. I took him to the front of the club and I shook his hand. And he looked at me very earnestly. He said, I have no way of repaying you. I said, sure you do. That's easy. Serve your country well and come back in one piece. We'll call it square. I know I got some people out there saying, Uncle Kage's stories are bullshit, his stories aren't real. I've been corresponding with the soldier. I'll put him in touch with you. He'll give you a big fuck you from me, okay? What was this piece of paper down there? Oh, I remember this shit, yeah. This is kind of embarrassing because I can't remember which stories I told at Indy FurCon last year. I don't know why. Did I tell the story, the mournful, tearful story of What happened when our guest of honor came to arrive at Anthrocon? I did tell that one? Good, because I really don't want to think about it again. Okay, that's the basic, and I told you about the fire department pulling up to the hotel.
Yeah, which time?
That's a good point. I'm going to have to reach back into the depths of my memory. Oh, further than that,
Tell us about the cat.
some of you may have read a story that I read, published it in one of these furry anthologies called Six. If you never read Six, well, Six tells the story of something that happened in Philadelphia back in my Red Cross days, before I learned that the Red Cross is an organized crime outfit, but that's another story for another day. A lot of you don't know that story is true. I was Red Cross volunteer disaster services in Philadelphia back in the 1990s. And okay, there's some asshole out there going to say, I was in kindergarten. Yeah, I started in Arkansas and moved to Philly. Arkansas was honest, they didn't have any money. Philly's another story. Anyhow, I ran with a Friday night, we called it the city team. Because our job was just to be in the city of Philadelphia, because damn it, something's gonna happen. And we're there to be there when it happens. A fire, a building collapse, a water main break, you name it, something would happen when people need help and do not know where to turn. My job is basically just to put a blanket on their shoulders, hand them a cup of coffee and say, I'll take care of it. And sometimes that's all you need. Blanket helps here. Well, the captain of the team was a guy named Mark. And some of you may have met Mark if you've been going to Anthrocon a long time. Remember the Greater Philadelphia Search and Rescue? Mark is the captain of that team now. So they were our charity at Anthrocon in 2000 years ago. But Mark, he was the captain of the team, and he taught me a lot of stuff. We were driving along one night, and we had a scanner, a fire department scanner, and a call came through, structure fire, and it gave the address, and I said, wait a minute, that's somewhere pretty close to here. Now, this is the days before GPSs. All we had was this giant book of maps, a road atlas we called it, and we could hear the street name, but we couldn't clearly hear the number. Now, this could be, it could be number 1 or it could be number 4387. We said, structure fire, on Bloor Street. I said, we're only at, 9-10 blocks away from that street. How are we going to find it? And Mark, I was in the passenger seat, and I swear to God, Mark said, take the wheel, and started climbing out the window of this van moving at 35 miles an hour through the streets of Philadelphia. I was like, what? And I'm steering, and Mark is leaning out the window doing this. Turn left, come up, turn left here. Wait a minute. Wait. Right, turn right here. Yeah, we're getting there, turn right, okay, left. We came up on the scene before the fire department got there. Mark is good. So, you rolled up, of course, in Philly they call it a row home, some folk call it a town home. Basically, house, all connected in a giant long row. And the scene in the fire. The one on the end was fully involved. We come up, smoke is pouring out, flame in all the windows. Now, all the neighbors are standing outside. Our job, first and foremost, query the neighbors. Is anyone in there? The fire department's going to want to know when they show up. And the neighbors said, no, that house is vacant. Well, the house next door, there's a little bit of smoke coming out of the windows. I said, how about that one? They said, that's also vacant. Okay, we don't really have anything to worry about. House number 3 looks well tended. They said, well, there's an old lady lives in that house. She's in a wheelchair. But it did not appear to be in jeopardy at that time. So, okay, let's file that away for later. We'll inform the fire department when they get here. Fire department involved, we told them, okay, vacant, occupied. They looked and said, don't worry about it. So at this point, we're spectators. So we just sat back, we're sitting on the curb, watching these fellas do their magic. A lot of science involved with firefighting. It's really fascinating. And we're talking with the neighbors and everything. And I happened to be looking at the scene when the house on the end exploded. It's called a backdraft. They made a movie about it. The movie doesn't do it justice. An actual real-life backdraft is a horrifying, hellish sight. Fire shooting out of all the windows, firefighters jumping off the ladders to get away from this inferno. And at that point, smoke started pouring out of the windows of the second house. Okay, now we got to the situation. Fireman ran by, yeah, I'm from Philly, situation. Fireman ran by and said, sir, there's a woman in that house, wheelchair, invalid, she can't get out. So the fireman ran up, pounded on the door, opened the door, ran inside. And about a solid minute went by, and all I saw was smoke pouring out the door. And I didn't see no fireman carrying no old lady out. I got worried. So I went up. There's 6 stone steps leading up to the door. Door level's up here. If you've never been involved with, and I hope to God you're not, a house fire, it's not like the movies. The smoke that comes out of that is acrid, it's acidic. It will sting your eyes and sear your lungs if you get just a tiny amount of it. I'm standing outside, my eyes are watering and burning. And inside, I can hear the firemen arguing, saying, you need to get out of here, you're gonna burn up. And I heard a tiny little voice saying, no, I don't wanna go. And the fireman saying, ma'am, you gotta go, I gotta get you out of here. And I called inside, I said, this is the Red Cross, you need help in there. And after a pause, he said, yeah, grab the front of the wheelchair. Okay, great. So out of the smoke, the first thing I saw was a leg. This big across. And I realized that the woman was in a wheelchair because she was gravitationally challenged. Big time. I mean, one of her legs was as big around as my chest. And I was thinking, oh God, Red Cross doesn't pay workman's compensation. I gotta get her down these stairs. Now they always say disaster brings out the best in people. These 3 gentlemen of proper Spanish descent, who had the hairnets and the facial tattoos, they looked like they would just as soon slice me up as say good morning, came running up, and between all of us, we were able to wrestle this wheelchair down onto the sidewalk. And these fellas disappeared. I was very grateful to them. And I'm standing, this little lady's in hysterics. She's crying, there's soot on her face, and the tears leaving streaks in the soot. And she's saying, I gotta go back in there. I said, ma'am, I cannot let you go back in there. I need to take you away. She said, but Elvis is in there! Elvis is in there! I thought, oh, I gotta go. I said, ma'am, it's okay. I saw Elvis earlier today at a gas station. He's fine. He'll be in Graceland this weekend. He's just fine. Don't worry. And she said, Elvis is my cat. I go, oh, fuck. Okay. Ma'am, is there somebody here on the street that maybe looks after you? Is there a neighbor? I need to take you away from here. Will, and she just started sobbing hysterically. She said, I need Elvis! And I committed the #1 mortal sin of disaster response. Never promise anybody anything. But my heart broke and I said, ma'am, I'll get Elvis for you, don't worry. Now, is there somebody here who can take care of you? Well, she told me about 6 doors down, with 5 vacant houses in between. Welcome to Philly. She said, there's a lady there who looks in on me every day. So I ran down there, I climbed up the 6 stairs, And I knocked on the door, and a voice said, "Come in." And when I opened the door, I was attacked by these two stallions. They were dogs, some mastiff mix. Their bellies were like here. And a voice came from inside. "Oh, don't worry, they're friendly. I see, I can tell that. And from out of the darkness stepped a tiny, frail little old lady who was 1,000,000 years old. If she was a day. I was afraid to talk to her that just the pressure of my breath might kill her. And I hadn't even been drinking. So I said, "Ma'am, your neighbor, fire, can I, bring her here?" And she said, "Oh, yes, bring her inside, bring her inside." And she got the dogs on the side, so I went up to the lady in the wheelchair. I said, "Ma'am, I'm going to take you to your neighbor's house. I'm going to take you down there, it'll be okay. I'll get Elvis for you." Oh, there's those 6 steps again. There's those young men. Oh, thank God, those young men are here, thank you. So we got her inside, and she's sobbing, and she grabbed my hand, and she said, "You're going to get Elvis, aren't you?" And by now, Mark showed up, and he was saying, "It's okay, ma'am, I saw Elvis." And yes, I said, "We're going to get Elvis, okay, just shut up." We went back up there, and I explained to Mark that Elvis is her cat. And he said, "Fire captain told me I can't go in that building." He said, "He told you. He didn't tell me." See, I was younger then, and a lot more stupid. So, try to hold, you can't hold your breath. It's going to find its way into your lungs. My eyes are burning, my lungs are burning. I go in there, I got this flashlight, and I'm like shining it through. It looks like a lightsaber with all this going. And I passed it over, and I saw this little 2 green flashes. And I focused back, and there was this little black and white cat. You guys remember Felix the cat? They made a clock out of him. That was the spitting image of what I saw. This little white face and green eyes and like tuxedo, little bow tie and everything. This little tuxedo cat sitting there. And when I said, "Oh, hi there, hi there," and I picked him up, oh, he's like, "Oh, I love you, I love you." Oh, and I'm like, "Oh, yes, I'll get you out of here, don't worry, I'll get you out of here." And I went to the door, and Mark is out there, he said, "Give me the cat, the lady also wants some other things." Was there a goddamn grocery list here? What? She wanted her blanket, she wanted, all right, we're here to comfort her, okay, great. You take the cat, I'll get the other stuff. So I'm in there, oh God, oh, Jesus, get the other stuff. And I came out, hawking and to see Mark at one of the vacant buildings at the basement window doing this. "Come here, come here, come here, come here." I said, "Oh, tell me you did." He said he was starting to scratch me. I said, that was a perfect, oh, for Christ's sake. I said, "All right, you give this stuff to the old lady, I'll go down there and get it." Now this is a vacant building in Philadelphia. That basement could contain raw sewage, a dead body, a live body, any combination of the above. Fortunately, I got boots on. Took off my helmet, I slithered feet first down the window. Yep, it's all the above. I'm going to and I saw the little green eyes, and I went over and I picked him up. "Oh, I love you, yes, I'm a cat, I love you, and I guess I love you too, Elvis." And I realized for the first time he had this little tiny collar on. The collar itself was black, so I didn't see it against his black fur. Oh, jeez, okay. So I handed him out the window to Mark, and I said, "Hold on to his collar this time." And Mark took him away, and I started to slither out the window, and I heard a scream, a blood-curdling scream of agony. And when I looked up the street, I saw Mark with this red mist rising off of him, and these little claws going, "Ow, ow, oh God, oh Jesus Christ, ow, 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 ow." And he ran up to the house at the end of the street, he kicked the door open, and he said, "Here's your damn cat." I said, "Mark, the dogs." unusual laws of gravity. Elvis kind of did this arc in mid-air and flew up onto the mantelpiece. The dogs never knew he was there. Mark looked like he had fallen into a meat grinder. He had slashes on his face, on his neck. His white Red Cross shirt was bright red. And I walked up and he said, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't talk to me!" I said, let's go to the medic unit. I said, "Come on." He said, So I took him into the medic unit. I sat him down. The medics, they're busy with firemen, so I'm getting the stuff out. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me take care of this." And the million-year-old little old lady came up. "Elvis is an orange cat." Mark looked at me. He said, "Well, paint the goddamn thing." It turned out we had the proper cat. The lady was a little flustered. I could probably go on all night long about stories from the Red Cross and why that emblem that used to stand for humanity and care to me has come to stand for graft and greed and corruption, the depths of which the Republican Party couldn't even come to equal. But it's called Uncle Kage's Story Hour, and I've had my hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this microphone down, and I'm going to go outside, and I am going to shotgun this glass. But before then, before I die, I'd just like to thank all of you for your kind attention to an old man who rattles on as he does. You're very, very nice. Thank you very much. Oh, there was a charity improv show win. When? At 8:30, Barry. Oh, you will, what? Charity. We are all going to be on stage. Us, two, all of you guys on the stage at 8:30. There. In this room. 8:30. Be there. What? Not here. We are going to be in a place that is not here. So if you're here and go to the other place, bring money. Because if you don't bring money, we're going to make fun of you.